Welcome to more Fanime. What's up, everybody? Today, I'm gonna review Chapter 1103 of the One Piece manga. Oh yeah, this bad boy isn't supposed to be out until, I think, January 7th, and we got it now. We got it now. By the way, Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. I know I sure did. I got this badass Whitebeard shirt and a Whitebeard coat like the one he wears in the anime. Yeah, it's pretty sick. So, I am super stoked that we got this chapter early. I am also super stoked that it is the end. Officially, we are out of the... I mean, I guess we were kind of out of it at the end of the last chapter, but we are for sure out of the Kuma flashback, which was great and sad and, you know, fucking inspiring. But it's over. And we're back to the Straw Hats. We're back to current Bonnie. We're back to Saturn, the asshole. We're back to everything currently happening in the story, and I'm stoked. Whoa. So, before I get into spoilers, don't forget to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this chapter if you've read it. If you haven't read it, I suggest you don't continue this video because I will be spoiling it. So don't do it. Come back later. This chapter was great. I just wish we had more. That's the thing. I think my biggest critiques on these chapters, reading week to week compared to binging, is I just want more. I want to just keep going. I just want to read it until, you know, it's over. But I also never want the story to end, so I'm kind of like a hypocrite in that way. So it kicks back off. Right where it left off, we have Bonnie coming out of the bubble, which is kind of a flashback compared to where we were. But Bonnie's coming out of the bubble incident, seeing her father's memories, all of them. And seeing her mother when she was younger, all these crazy things. It's got to be traumatic for a 10 or 11-year-old, whatever she is right now. And she walks out. She is distraught. But she sees Vegapunk, who's like, whoa. And I feel like where this is happening is like right after they handled the Seraphim, but like... And they're like getting patched up and everything. And he's like, oh, Bonnie, I'm so sorry. Oh, geez, what do I do, Quasar? And she just hugs him and says, I'm sorry. I thought you were doing bad things to my daddy. But you were forced to do it by the government. But you did it anyway, you fuck. But I'm sorry for being so mean to you and wanting to kill you. Because it seemed like in the flashback you really, really did want to help and keep Kuma as human as possible, while giving him his upgrades. And you saved me. So, I'm not sure if she realized until after she saw the bubble that he was the one who saved her. But yeah, she must have. It's weird because in the flashback, Kuma told her she'd be better by her 10th birthday before they met Vegapunk. And then they meet Vegapunk, and Vegapunk's like, yeah, I'll heal you. So she's like, so if we never met him, I wouldn't have been healed? I'm so confused. Either way. They talk, and he's like, hey, so Straw Hat and the crew, they saved my life. She must realize at this point that Luffy is somewhat of a Nika-esque character after the flashback, because Kuma was protecting Luffy for a while, with multiple occasions of helping him out and his crew. Just from, you know, seeing him using his rubber powers and just getting happy, just watching this kid with this big smile going like, yeah, he's the chosen one. So, from there, you know, we flash forward to the point where we were left off. Oh, wait, before we get there, there's a point where Vegapunk gives Bonnie a gift that was supposed to be given to her on her 10th birthday or some shit from Kuma. It's like a flower gem, sapphire. And she's like, whoa, cool, I'll cherish this. It reminds me of my jewels that my dad made me feel great about. The sapphire scales. Yeah, was it sapphire? Yeah, so she takes it. And I'm wondering if that little jewel somehow is the thing that triggered our boy Kuma to come to Egghead Island this whole time. Because we thought maybe it was the piercing in her cheek. No, that had nothing to do with anything, actually. It's just a thing she got while she was a pirate. But this jewel seems important. But the thing is, we never had that information until right now, so we could never have guessed that. But anyway, she gets the jewel, and I feel like that jewel is going to come into play at some point Even if maybe it already has. Maybe it's just Oda's way of showing the readers, us, the people, how Kuma was triggered to come to Egghead Island even though his mind has been wiped. Unless somehow he's forcing his personality back out of the Kuma body through the power of fatherly love. Maybe that's happening. Kind of how with Sindri, the plate throwing lady, way back at Thriller Bark when tears started coming out of her eyes and she was like fighting back against Dr. Hogback. Kind of like that. Yeah, it's like a little foreshadowing from our boy Oda. So, now, fucking evil-ass Saturn monster, demon immortal, is holding her up, and he's like, you know, last time we checked, she was going to get shot in the head. But apparently he had a few more things to say. He starts calling her trash, basically, and how her dad is dead. You know, you're bucking your father. He's dead. And you're going to be dead soon. So suck it, basically, is what he's telling her. And she's like, you bastard. And he even explains to her that he experimented on her mom, Ginny, with the sapphire scale disease, and experimented on her, Bonnie, and that's the reason she has her devil fruit abilities, and she didn't actually eat a devil fruit, but when she was born, he was like injecting children, apparently children of fucking celestial dragons. If she is a child of a celestial dragon, it kind of made me feel like Saturn might be the fucking child, the father. I mean, if Saturn is the legitimate father of Bonnie, this shit gets even more real and more intense and more emotionally controlled. It's crazy. But I mean, he wasn't a real dad, and it does seem also like Saturn targeted Ginny to capture her, force her to be the 8th wife of his, possibly? Or someone else, some other, because I'm not even sure if these fucking Gorosei, these immortal beings, can even procreate. If so, does that mean Bonnie is partially immortal? Does she have some kind of special abilities that nobody else has? What kind of crazy shit would that be? But apparently she was experimented on by Saturn, and so was her mother, but before she was born, so she inherited the sapphire scales, but also got experimented on with devil fruit infusions, as he said, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. It's a bunch of stuff, bunch of information being brought into our brain holes, and it's just more reasons to hate Saturn, because Saturn's the one who made the deal with Kuma, being like, hey, listen to me. You go through this experiment, you separate yourself from your daughter, and we'll save her. Even though he's the reason she had the sapphire scales to begin with. He's the reason that her mother died to begin with. So the whole reason Kuma went through this entire cycle of sadness was because of Saturn from the very beginning. And it's almost like because Kuma as a child escaped being a celestial dragon slave, and he's, you know, becoming a bit of a problem for him, and he insulted him. He's like, I want to be like Nika. He was like, you know what? I'm watching you. And if I get the opportunity, I'm going to fuck your life up. And he did. He did. But, you know, Kuma's a happy dude, and he found a way to make the most of it. So he's holding her up, and she's like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to Nika mode. And she just summons the giant fist of Gear 3, essentially, and goes to punch him, but it's weak. And I'm wondering, is it Saturn's ability to weaken people so they can't move? Or drain their devil fruit abilities? Or some shit like that? Or, from what I read, is it her belief of Nika? Like, she's older now. She's seen some shit as a pirate. But when she left the village she was in, Sorbet, the island, she believed Nika wholeheartedly. But she's seen some shit. Especially going through Kuma's flashback. Her belief in Nika might have waned, reducing the power. And he even explains, like, you don't believe in a way, you know, like you're growing up. Your belief in old Nika boy ain't happening no more. Your powers are waning. And I don't think she believes that Luffy is the embodiment of Nika. But it makes me wonder, if she finds out that Luffy does have the Nika powers, she can at that point go into Gear 5th Bonnie just through the power of imagination and the power of the devil fruit she has, where she can distort her future and make herself the eater of the Nika fruit, which is OP as shit. I mean, she can essentially use any devil fruit ability for a limited amount of time, which is crazy to me. She's going to be a big part of the future of the story if that's true, if she survives this. Whoa. Like, she could go, oh, actually, I'm a Logia now because I use distorted future, and someone goes to stab her, and she's like, I'm ice, I'm sand, I'm fire, I'm lava. She can do that shit. Just from using the power of imagination, just from knowing something is real. Even before, she didn't even know for sure what the Nika was. She just had a vague description, and she went into Gear 3. But she wasn't able to do anything to our dude Saturn, the asshole, the man, the dick face. We do get a little flashback of Dragon. Again, people love Dragon. I don't see the hype. I'm hoping he gets a flashback. I'm sure he will. Dragon needs something more substance. He really does. I could care less about him or the Revolutionary Army at this point. Kuma's the only one I really care about from the Revolutionary Army. I'm trying to think of anybody else. The girl that inspires people, she's cool. But really, Sabo's okay. I mean, he's still, to me, you know, I'm sure he's going to have a big moment, and it's going to grow. He still has so much more to do for the story, and I'll love him for that. But he'll never be the ace brother of Luffy. And I just, the Revolutionary Army, I'm sure their time is coming. But right now, I could give a shit. But either way, we see Dragon talking to Ivankov, and they're like, where do you think Kuma went? And they say some shit like, well, if he's going towards, I'm gonna pull it up right now on my phone, and this could be a translation error due to this being translated by the fans, but this is the exact conversation on my version of the manga, and it says, if Kuma started going after the instant fragment, where do you think he would have gone, Ivankov? If it was me, I'd certainly go to Mary Joa. And so then Dragon says, so Kuma was wrong. After all, it's confusing. Does he mean that that jewel that we saw at the beginning of this chapter, the flower thing, the sapphire flower thing, is that the instant fragment that somehow he's connected to? And how does Dragon know about it? I don't know. Craziness, right? Crazy fucking storytelling happening all in one chapter. Oda, you madman. So he puts her up in the air and he's like, shoot her down. But before he does that, we do see Luffy at one point during this chapter, and I'm jumping all over the place, I'm sorry. We see Luffy there, you know, he's all drained like he was before of his Gear 5th ability, and he's just sitting there all dried out like a raisin. And he's like, please, give me food. And nobody can give him food because they can't move. Because the monster that is Saturn is just keeping them there with the power of paralyzation, with glare. If you ever played Pokemon before, it's pretty OP. They can't move. Sanji can't move. Atlas can't move. She wants to give Luffy food so bad. But then we jump forward after, you know, Saturn's monologue. And we see that our boy Luffy, he got food. He's eating food left and right. He's blowing up like a balloon. He got food given to him by somebody. By who? Who would have given Luffy the food so he can revive himself and at least try and help Bonnie maybe go back into Gear 5th one last time, one last effort? I would be surprised if Luffy gets back up and actually fights back, but I also wouldn't because he's the main character. Why wouldn't he? By the way, we didn't get to see a lick of what's going on with Lucci and Zoro, and it pisses me off because I feel like we're not going to see any of it. I did see someone in one of my comments in one of my videos saying, just you wait. Somehow, some way, Lucci's going to beat Zoro and it's going to be a big shocker. That would blow my mind. That would really blow my mind. I don't know why Oda would have Zoro lose in this moment to someone like Lucci, but I'm fine with it because Lucci needs it. Lucci needs this win. But Zoro also needs this win, so it's a really good fight that we should see in a full chapter, Oda. You don't need to skip by this. This is a good fight. It's a good fight. Don't skip it. Don't let this go. This is a good battle. You could go 2 chapters, full chapters, only dedicated to Zoro versus Lucci, and the fans would eat it up. And you could extend your story, and it wouldn't feel like filler in any way, shape, or form. A full fight between a former main villain of the greatest arc in the entire series and the vice captain, essentially the right-hand man one of the wings of the future king of the pirates, Luffy, Zoro. You're telling me that isn't a money-making chapter right there? It isn't selling toys? That is. You need to make Lucci look strong. You need to make Zoro look strong. It would be great. I don't care who wins. We all win. The fandom wins by seeing that fight. Because it's going to be very close and very fun. But regardless, Luffy gets food. How does he get food? Where does he get the food from? We also see, and I don't believe this, but I've seen people talk about this. We see Kizaru sitting there recovering. I still think he's still recovering and he hasn't moved yet. But the fandom thinks that maybe he used his light speed to get food to Luffy. I don't think so. Because I feel like he's recovering. He is imagining in his head, you see him going Sentomaru, Vegapunk, Bonnie, people he bonded with years ago. People he did the Nika dance with. So he might be turning. I have a feeling he will turn to the good side at some point, which is great because he's been my favorite admiral, my favorite marine since he debuted in the series. And I think that's going to continue forward because I really like him. I like his design, I like his ability, I like his personality. Maybe we'll get a full-on Kizaru flashback about why he joined the Marines. Please, Oda. Because I like the guy. I do. But I don't think he's the one that gave Luffy the food. And I'm worried the person that gave Luffy the food could be one of my least favorite characters in the entire series. Can you guess who that is? He's a character who's been here the entire time. Caribou. What if Caribou, with his mud abilities, you know, he can put stuff inside of him like a purse, and he just kind of mudded his way over and kind of left some food next to Luffy because, you know, he kind of went along with the trip. They kicked him out of the boat. He's been wandering Egghead Island this entire time. He's like, if I'm going to survive, I got to save Luffy. But at the same time, we still don't know who Caribou works for. It must be Crocodile at this point. It has to be, right? It's got to be Crocodile. It can't be the government. Unless it's Blackbeard. It could be Blackbeard, but if it's Blackbeard, why would he help Luffy? No guarantee he's the one who helped Luffy, but Caribou has done nothing in this arc, and he's there. He's a nothing character to me. He's a character that somehow has made it this far into the series, still alive, still, you know, a factor. We'll see what happens, but my theory is Caribou gave the food to Luffy. My hope is Kizaru did it. But it does seem kind of weird that he turned on Saturn so quickly, even though, you know, you look at Saturn, he looks like an evil monster. Maybe Kizaru's like, yeah, I'm not working for that. Here's some food, dog. But I doubt it. The other option, this would be my number one option, is what if Carrot's there? Carrot hid on the ship this entire time and waited for her moment to strike. And she's just woken up. Or she's seen the battle this whole time. But it seems like a long period of time for Carrot not to reveal herself. It really does, unless she was sleeping through all this. But she's like using her, you know, bunny speed. She's like hiding, dipping, and dodging. And she's like, here's some food, Luffy. Shh. She like hides away. And she's the future Straw Hat. Hopefully. So Saturn sees Luffy eating food, says, get that food away from that boy. Put some fucking sea-stone cuffs on him, you idiots. Are you vice admirals or what? And they start putting them on him, I assume. I hope so. But he also tells them to fire at the head of Bonnie, and let's end this now. Yeah. As this is happening, Sanji's like, I gotta do something, but he can't move. My boy Sanji. We don't get to see most of the Straw Hats, sadly. The ones that are in the battlefield are just kind of paralyzed. Someone gave Luffy food again. He's holding up the body of Bonnie. He's like, let's shoot her. Give me death to this girl. I hope it's not him as her actual biological father. Because, wow, what a piece of shit. He even says at one point during this chapter, like, you need to relate with me, Bonnie. How am I supposed to look at you people, like living beings? It's like trying to empathize with an insect. Because you guys are all insects. And I am a celestial at this point. I am a god. You are nothing. I can't empathize. I can't even say that word. I cannot emotionally feel what you're feeling because you are nothing. You don't know what I've seen. I've seen some things. So she's about to get shot in the head. But at the last minute, our boy Kuma, somehow with a repaired leg and face, after getting his body melted up by a Kainu at Marijois, somehow his leg is back, his face is back. Maybe Oda forgot about that battle damage that he gave him. Why give it to him at all? Maybe Kuma pain bubbled himself, so it repaired him? What? I didn't know he could do that. Can you regrow limbs when you do the pain bubble? Whoa. He shows up. Like, could he pain bubble Zoro when he gets his eyeball back? I don't know. Can he pain bubble other characters who have missing arms and shit, like Shanks, and they get their arm back? I don't think so. I don't think so. Kuma shows up at the last second as they're about to fire at Bonnie's head, and he goes, targeting, fire, blows up these vice admirals. I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're cool. I'm sure he did non-lethal damage. You know, he rolled and got a 20. He comes in and he saves Bonnie before she gets stepped on by Saturn. It's a big moment. And then he looks and she's like, Daddy, no! You're here! This is great! I don't know what to do! I'm sad! I'm 10 years old or 11 or 12, something like that. I don't know. Kuma looks so mad. He's angry. He's like, you bitch. And that's how we end the chapter, with him turning around to sock our fucking asshole of a person, spider, bull, creature, Saturn. And he's looking at him like, I'm gonna get you. There's some emotion there. Kuma's still in there. He's bringing it out. He's bringing it out. Oh yeah, Kuma's coming out. Kuma's power. Kuma's emotion. Kuma's memories. Maybe they're back. Maybe they've been triggered. Maybe they've been activated. Maybe there's some secret thing that Vegapunk put inside Kuma, but it's been unleashed. And now we're going to get Kuma fighting back. I hope more things are explained in the next chapter, which I heard won't come out till like halfway through January. Maybe it'll be leaked early like this one was. But oh my God, shit's happening. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Is Kizaru going to turn? Is Caribou a relevant character in this chapter? Is Brook going to do anything in this arc at all? Like, I at the beginning of this arc, when we saw that CP9 or CP0 was going to be involved, I was like, cool. Brook versus Kaku. Bring it. Nope. Kaku's been sidelined. Well, sidelined by two Seraphim who are still trapped in bubbles. The Seraphim I could care less about. The only Seraphim I care about is Crocodile's. Because Crocodile's character has so much mystery behind him, and I want to know. I want some cross-guild. Come on. Come on, Oda. Give me some cross-guild chapters. Let's take a break. I don't care if we cut away again right now. And we jump over to the cross-guild for like the next 6 chapters. 7 chapters. Like the next 6 months. We do a whole entire cross-guild arc where they're gathering members. They're like, hey, Weevil. Hey, Weevil. Hey, Doflamingo. Hey, Bon Clay. You guys, hey, Senor Pink, you guys that are in prison right now, we're here to break you out, and you guys got to join the Cross Guild. Come to Daddy. That would blow my mind, but also seems kind of predictable. Is Boa Hancock going to join the Cross Guild? Is fucking Moria? Moria has nowhere to go. That is a cover story idea if I have never heard one before. We do the adventures of... what's her name? Hold on. God, Perona. We do the adventures of Perona. I had to do the laugh to get her name. Perona and Moria, her like adopted daddy in a way. If you look at her stuff, there's some stuff about her like loving Moria for helping raise her or some shit. That's why she went and saved her from Hachinosu. They're on an adventure right now. They're on a ship right now. But, you know, maybe they're in disguise. Because, you know, the government wants to kill Moria. Like Blackbeard probably wants to kill Moria. A lot of people want to kill Moria. And maybe Perona, who lived with Mihawk, sees the Cross Guild as a thing now in the papers. Easy to see because, you know, it's a big deal. And she's like, hold on. We got to go see my boy. We got to go see my boy. My guy. My man. My second daddy. My future husband, maybe. I hope not, because I want Perona and Zoro to be together. But maybe Perona thinks we're going to go join the Cross Guild because I got an in with Mihawk. Yeah. I'm like part of his crew in a quasi way. He likes me. I made him food and stuff. I lived with him and Zoro for 2 years and some change. So maybe I can get an in with you, former warlord. It's perfect fit. If nobody else joins, like if Doflamingo does his own thing, that's fine. I almost don't want Doflamingo to join the Cross Guild. It just seems too on the nose, like a big group of warlords, and that's fine. But not every warlord needs to join. I feel like Doflamingo definitely needs to do something. My prediction, my hope, is somehow that Vergo survived the explosion at Punk Hazard with his armament hockey skills. Got put back together by the Marines, who do not know he's a traitor, because it was never reported, if I remember correctly. He goes to the prison. He, using his Marine, Vice Admiral ship, goes to the prison. He frees Doflamingo, saves him from assassination. If you remember, he was going to be assassinated by somebody at one point. Saves Doflamingo, saves the Doflamingo family who might be there, like Senor Pink, like Lao G, with a capital G, like the others, the ones that might not matter so much, maybe just a few of them, whoever's there. Doflamingo Bon Clay sneaks out along the way and heads his way to the Straw Hat crew and becomes an official Straw Hat. Yeah, that would be dope. I want to see Bon Clay in the Straw Hat crew so bad. I do. He's one of my favorite characters, and I wish we can get him back. He's not dead, people. He's not dead. Bring him in there, Oda. But this is my prediction. Vergo saves Doflamingo. The Cross Guild still needs some more members. I agree. Moria. Perona. Perfect. They already have Mr. 1, Das Bones. They have other characters on their crew. They have Mr. 3. They have Alvida. They have a bunch of weak members that can fill in the gaps. Who can also get a little power boost after years of being, with Buggy, I guess. And now being with Crocodile and Mihawk. So maybe they get boosted up and they get to do something important later in the story if they have like a Davy back fight with Luffy and his crew at some point. I don't know. So many big things, so many possibilities. I do not know how Oda is going to finish this story anywhere past like 2027. Like, it needs so much more. If Oda skips these fights like Lucci versus Zoro, and he keeps doing it, I'm going to get real mad. And I get it. One Piece has never been about the fights and maybe the anime, and now there's going to be 2 animes, and I assume the other anime is going to just do non-filler stuff. So this current anime is our only hope to actually animate Lucci versus Zoro in a satisfying way. But I don't like that because I like to be able to read the manga and get all the stuff just directly from the manga. I don't want to be like, cool, he didn't do the fight in the manga, but if I go and watch this other thing, the anime, I can actually see the fight. No, give me a little bit. Give me a chapter, baby. Let me see that fight. Stop skipping over fights. I get it. Again, One Piece is more of a story-based manga, and that's why I love it. That's why I love it so much. But you have to interweave fights that matter. You can't just skip by them. I mean, there were so many fights in this arc alone that were just skipped on by. I mean, just even part of Law versus Blackbeard's crew, we got to see an entire chapter of the beginning of the fight, which was fun. But then we skipped on by. And then maybe that was important because we didn't want to see Blackbeard's abilities yet. Fair. Then Kid gets one shot by Shanks, so that fight gets ended early, which is fair, I guess. I guess it wasn't skipped, per se, but still, it doesn't feel like a satisfying end for a great character like Kid. Again, Oda, you could have had an entire 6 or 5 chapters about Kid's crew, sieging the red-haired pirates, maybe actually doing well against somebody like Lucky Roo or Ben Beckman. But no, you just had Shanks go, boom, get out of my house. I'm the red-haired character in this story. And, I feel like Kid will come back and do something, because I can't imagine Oda's just going to, write him off. I almost wish he does, because then I wouldn't predict that. I'd be like, whoa, we never see Kid again? Kid goes back to the South Blue to just be a badass there? I don't know. This is More Fanime. What'd you think of my theories, my ideas, my plans for the future of the series? What'd you think of this chapter, chapter 1103? What did you think? Don't forget to comment down below. Don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Help me. Help you. Help me with the YouTube algorithms. I'll talk to you later.